Hello stamping friends, this is Angie here with Too Cool Stamping, and we're here with another live class. This week we are featuring the New Horizons suite. The whole collection is really unique and really fun, and it all kind of centers around the New Horizons Designer Series paper. And then the coordinating stamps just add a lot of really cool accents to that paper. And I'll show you how easy it is to put together beautiful cards that are perfect for sympathy, thinking of you, birthday, lots of different occasions. I know you're going to love it. Okay, before we get on with our cards today, I wanted to just give you a few reminders. Don't forget, we have the last chance retiring list out right now. It is good until the end of this annual catalog, which ends on May 2nd. However, don't forget, everything is while supplies last. And I've had some people really not realize that things are going to sell out so quickly. And in the past, we've had stamp sets that have been available until like the second, like 2 weeks before the end of the sale. That's not how it is this year. Everything is while supplies last. And we already have had, at my last count, I haven't looked today, I looked early this morning, there were 58 stamp sets that were already sold out. So that's a lot. That's a lot. Now, I haven't seen any embellishments or designer series paper on there, which is always good. So you can start stocking up on your favorites of those that are retiring. But, you know, there's going to come a point where those are going to start flying out of here too. Also, in colors, those usually go really quickly. We've already had at least 3 of the re-inkers are gone. The Just Jade, Bumblebee, can't remember the other one, Magenta Madness maybe, are gone. And then I believe I saw the markers for in colors were also gone. Anyway, don't quote me on that. If you need to know for sure, you just go to the website. If it's not there any longer, it's gone. That's just the way it is. And you can type in, just type in the number and that should come up. And if it says no results, that means it's already gone. If you're not sure, you can just send me a message and I can double check for you. And you can definitely go to my toocoolstamping.com website to get the complete list of all of the retiring items. Okay, also, I wanted to mention that, of course, we're kind of transitioning out of this year's catalog, going into the new catalog, and that's going to be released on May 3rd. So if you want to make sure that you are getting a catalog, you can always send me a message, either here on Facebook. If you have my email address, you can send me one that way, or you can go to toocoolstamping.com and there's an email box that you can fill out there. Just give me your name and your mailing address. I'll make sure that I get a catalog out to you. Now, if you are a current customer of mine and have been for the past, anywhere in the past 6 months, if you've purchased at least $35 worth of product from me, then you should be getting a catalog in the mail anyway. So I'm automatically sending them out to those people. If you haven't purchased from me in a while or never purchased from me, but you would like a catalog again, just let me know and I'll get one out to you. And then, of course, I wanted to also let you know, if you just can't wait to get your hands on the new in colors, which you might have seen them out there. People are starting to play with them already. I haven't announced them yet, but they're really, really pretty. And if you want to get your hands on those early or any of the other pre-order products, demonstrators are currently able to order from the brand new catalog, and you can join my team and be a part of that pre-order as well. In fact, you can actually put pre-order items from the new catalog on your starter kit order. It's just $99 for the starter kit. You select $125 worth of products of your choice. There's free shipping on that. You get a free paper pumpkin kit included in your starter kit. And you get to be a part of my Too Cool team and get a 20% discount on all future orders. If you want to know more about it, you can go to toocoolstamping.com and click on the Join My Team link. That'll give you a lot of the information on the benefits and perks of being a part of my Too Cool Stampers team. Okay, let's turn the camera around and get started with our projects for today. Hold on. Okay, And as we normally do, we have a live class kit that will be available with this New Horizons collection. You can get that free 5-card class kit with any $35 order at my toocoolstamping.com website. Please remember to use that host code. You can apply that on the checkout page. It's QVY6. TV2P. That's for this week's kit only. I need to know that because sometimes we have some class kits overlap, and I want to make sure that I'm getting the class kit that you are expecting to receive. All right, so let's look at what we're featuring this week. The featured stamp set is On the Horizon, and it has a lot of really nice sentiments and some images here that we can use along with that New Horizons Designer Series paper that I mentioned. Then we have some beautiful die cuts that go along with that. We have some landscaping type of, little mounds that you can make of grass. We have mountains with some detailed mountain like snow that you can put on top of that for layering, some grass. This will cut out this wood image here, some houses and trees that kind of look like they're off in a distance, and then this really cool fence that you can make that looks really, really neat. So we'll use that on one of the cards as well. So there's lots of different elements here, but the key feature of this collection, of course, is the paper. This is paper, and you may have heard me mention this before, but Stampin' Up! Actually makes all of their paper. They have an artist who actually paints. In this case, it's watercolor. They paint everything. They take photos of it. They color enhance it so that it all perfectly matches the colors in their collection. And that is how they create these beautiful patterns that you see. So they're one of a kind just for Stampin' Up! So in this pack, it's a 6x6 size pack. You're going to get 4 each of 12 different double-sided pieces. So you can see that they're all just a little bit different, and they're all just different splotchy, watercolory type of things, but a lot of them look like horizons already, and then you can add stamped images to make those look even cooler, and that's what we're going to do on our card. So those are the fronts, and then the backs, we have a lot of just coordinating watercolor patterns and colors so that that will go with our different landscaped patterns. So really, really pretty. There's another landscape. So a really unique set of papers. Again, you get 4 each of these double-sided pieces. That's 12. So you'll have 48 sheets in this 6x6 pack. So this is only a quarter of your pack. And then again, along with that collection, we have some really pretty ribbon here. This is a quarter, is it quarter inch or 1/8 inch? Why can't I think of that? It's an 1/8 inch, duh. So it's an 1/8 inch pack of cotton ribbon, and you'll have that in Petal Pink as well as Misty Moonlight. That's one of our in colors that's leaving. And then also one of my favorite things from this collection are these Pebbles enamel shapes. And so you can use those on your landscape to kind of have a look of rocks that are at the bottom of your landscape. So those are super cool as well. And all of these are going to be, I think On the Horizon is staying as far as the stamp set and dies will be in the new catalog, but the paper, which is super cool, and the embellishments are not going to be in the new catalog. So that's something you'll want to keep in mind, and you'll want to get those as soon as possible. Those have not officially been announced since they are in the mini catalog. And if you want to get a better idea of that information, it's on page 42 and 43 of the mini catalog. And you can get to that on my website as well, toocoolstamping.com, if you would like to look at a PDF of that if you don't have that available. So that gives you some ideas of different things you can do with it. So let's get started with the first card. These cards are so quick and easy and so beautiful as well. You'll see what I mean with this first card. I'm starting with Mossy Meadow 5.5 by 8.5 and scored at 4 1/4. We'll just fold that in half on the score line and burnish with the bone folder. Then I'm going to use that wooden plank image with some coordinating Mossy Meadow ink. And I just want to add a little bit of background texture. Just adds a little bit of detail. And I'm just going down the sides of both sides. So you probably can barely see that, but you can see just a little bit of tone on tone detail there. All right, next I'm gonna add a piece here of Old Olive. This is 4 1/4 by 2, and we'll add that right across kind of the bottom here. And you know I'm gonna have to, it didn't come up flush here, so you know I have to cut that off because I cannot stand things to not be flush. There we go. Oh, I forgot to mention, this is embossed with the Tasteful Textiles embossing folder, one of my favorites, and also on the retiring list. So get this while it's available. And then we'll add a piece of that New Horizons paper. So this, I love, this is my favorite pattern because it has so much detail and it has flowers at the bottom. And we have this cut down to 2 3/4 by 5 1/2. We're gonna layer that on a piece of Evening Evergreen, which is 3 by 5 1/2. I mean, this like makes the whole card. That paper just is so, so gorgeous all by itself. So we're not doing much to this particular card either. So we're gonna have this one, I'm gonna put it right about there, but before we adhere it, I'm gonna add a Pale Papaya open weave ribbon around the bottom. Matches that Pale Papaya color at the top of this paper. And we're just gonna tie it in a double knot. If you're used to my classes, you know that's what I like. It's quick, it's easy. You don't have to fuss with a bunch of, with a bow or anything. All right, I think I'll move that down just a tiny bit. And then I'm gonna add that onto this card front with my seal adhesive. Just gonna go flush to the top. You could really put it either over to the right or to the left, whichever you like. And then we'll finish up. I mean, really, what else do you need to do except add a sentiment? I have a little die cut here with the ornate frames. Ornate frames, that's one of my must-haves in my collection, also retiring. So we'll stamp one of the On the Horizon sentiments in Evening Evergreen. Wishing you so much happiness. And then we're just gonna pop that up with a couple of dimensionals here. And I'm just gonna add that right about here. And maybe add just a couple of champagne rhinestones since we love that Pale Papaya color and that all kind of coordinates. So I'm just gonna add that over here. One small one and then one a little bit larger. And that's it. Really, that's all you need. That paper brings everything together so, so beautifully. You don't need a lot of stamping. You don't need a lot of layering or detail. We have a little bit of sparkle, a little bit of texture with the ribbon, and that's all you need. So that's the first card. Of course, I like to do 2 cool versions. For my second one, I wanted to share with you how I stamped it first. So I used a different sheet of the New Horizons paper. Again, cut to the 2 3/4 by 5 1/2. And I'm going to stamp a couple of things on here. I'm gonna use Evening Evergreen. And these little trees, and I love how you can just go to the horizon line and stamp those on there. I clean that up for my next use on my Simply chamois. And then I'm going to add some of these birds across the top, which really add a little bit of fun detail to it. So that's all I'm going to add to that one. And I'll adhere that to a piece of garden green this time. So just a little bit, we're using all the greens. And this time I'm gonna have some of my, I had a bunch of this white ribbon from the Flowers for Every Season. Again, that's another ribbon pack that's gonna be retiring, so get that while it lasts. So I thought that looked really good with it. Just tie that in a double knot. Trim the ends. And let me show you what it looks like when I added that to my card. So my second card here, the card base is Evening Evergreen. I stamped that with that wood grain image in the background. I used mint macaron for my horizontal piece that's textured with the Tasteful Textiles. And then I put that piece over the top, and then my sentiment, a different sentiment from On the Horizon, and it's just on a small piece of So Saffron, and that one is measuring 2 3/8 by 1/2 inch, and just pop that up with some dimensionals. So there you have it. There's 2 different cards, and you'll be getting all the parts and pieces to make both of these cards in your kit. So I just really loved how both of those came out, and I love all the different greens. Oh, this one has the shaded spruce gems from the holiday rhinestones, which are also retiring. So get those as well before they are gone. Okay, let's go on to the next card. Oh, I love this one. It has some fun purpley colors. We're starting out with Blackberry Bliss, and it's 5.5 by 7.5, so an inch shorter than normal, scored at the same 4 1/4. So we have a shortened piece here, and get that a little bit burnished down a little bit more. Next up, we have a piece of Rich Razzleberry, and this one is measuring 3 by 5 1/4, and I've textured this one with the Timeworn type, and that is still available. That'll be in the new catalog, thank goodness, because I love it. It's a nice distressed background that's kind of a neutral background. Gives just a little hint of texture. So I'm going to add that to the card front, and then for the inside, I have my 4 by 5 1/4 piece of white for the message, and I have just another little piece of the New Horizons paper. This is just 1 inch by 5 1/4, and I'm going to use that right on the edge here. And of course, don't forget, if you want to do any stamping on the inside, you're going to want to do that before you adhere this to the inside. So then we'll add this so that that side strip is going to show. Whoops. And then we'll decorate the front. We have another piece here of the New Horizons paper. This one is measuring 2 5/8 by 3 7/8. And I'm going to adhere that to a die cut in basic white from the Scalloped Contours dies. I love the scallop contours. They're just a classic shape that you can use just all the time. So actually we're going to use it like this, and that'll be our focal point. Now, before we go any further, we're going to stamp on this, And I actually, why didn't I stamp on that before I added it to the background? That's silly. So you're gonna wanna do that. Stamp before you add it to that white background. But we're gonna try to work around it. We can work around that, right? We're gonna use Night of Navy. This is how I'm gonna work around it. Here's a little tip. I'm just gonna add this copy paper flush to the edge of this sheet so that wherever my stamp goes off of that, we're gonna hopefully not get it on that edge of the card. So first I'm gonna stamp right here, and then look at that. See how well that worked? Ta-da! And then I'm going to do the same thing on this side so that I can stamp over here. That's pretty tricky. A little tip. There's always a way to save it, right? And then we're going to add another one right over here. Again, this is a Night of Navy. Ta-da! Love how that works. Okay. Didn't intend to, but maybe I taught you something new. Okay. Then we're going to add this to the card front with some dimensionals. So let's flip this 180 so that we know exactly where to stop these dimensionals so we don't stick the cover, the front of the card to the inside of the card. We don't want to do that. So this allows us to know exactly where to position those. So we don't want to go further than that. And we'll add that to the card front, kind of centering. If there's any that's kind of uneven, you're going to use whatever the heaviest, or have the most at the bottom. I call it the heaviest. You're going to have the heaviest amount showing at the bottom. All right, we're going to finish this up with, I have a little die cut here. This is from the Horizon Dies, and it's with the Night of Navy paper, some little grassy pieces here, and we're going to use the liquid multi-purpose glue, just a tiny bit of glue. If you wanted to use a sponge to get it nice and even and just really light, you could do that, but I'm just doing a couple little dabs here and there. And then I'm going to put that right in the corner here, kind of going off of my rectangle and onto the scallop. Kind of busting out of the box there, little design element. And then we'll finish up with a sentiment. I have Whisper White, Basic White. I can't get rid of the Whisper White in my head. I just love it, I guess. We have the Basic White that's already die cut using the stitched rectangles dies. Those are staying in the new catalog, thank goodness. Love those. We're gonna stamp the sentiment in Night of Navy again. And let me find it, here we go. Relax and enjoy your day. Okay, so that's gonna go on here. Before we put that down though, I'm gonna add some ribbon to the back of it. And I apologize in advance because I had just recently gotten rid of a lot of retired stuff out of my studio because I was kind of behind on that with, you know, being pregnant and all and having a baby. I wasn't keeping up. So I wanted to use this pretty Blackberry Bliss striped ribbon, thinking that it was still available, but it is not. It's already retired. I do have enough for our class though, so we're gonna just go ahead and use it. And so you just want a little piece behind there. Cut off the little edges to make it cute. And we'll add that to here. You could pop that up with some dimensionals. I'm just gonna add some more seal over the top. Now you wanna make sure that you're not putting any adhesive on the end there because that's going to overlap the background. It's gonna kind of jut out and hang over the edge here. Okay, and we'll finish up with, oh, I didn't bring them. I was gonna put some more holiday rhinestones there. Let me just show you the card that I'd already completed. So I added a couple of Night of Navy holiday rhinestones. Again, those are retiring. And I'll show you how I finished the inside. There's another stamp here from the On the Horizon stamps, and then another sentiment. So I thought that turned out really, really pretty. Oh, and I wanted to show you the difference. When I first did it, I did the trees in Blackberry Bliss, but I thought it would look better with the Night of Navy, and I do still think it looks better. It just has a little bit more bold look to it. So I really love how that looks. So this will be in your card kit. So let me show you the other version that I did. So this one, I really love how this one turned out too. I love all the greens. Same time-worn texture in the background, this time on Soft Succulent. The card base is on Evening Evergreen. And then of course a new Horizons Designer Series paper on the focal point. I stamped the trees in Evening Evergreen, some birds in Evening Evergreen, little detailed grassy piece here, Evening Evergreen on the sentiment, and then some of that cotton ribbon in the Misty Moonlight to match the sky. So you can see how that turned out. I think looking back, I would probably use Misty Moonlight on the inside just to make it a little bit different. But another piece of the New Horizons there. So I love how that turned out as well. So again, this one is going to be in your card kit. All right, let's try another Horizon. This one is going to be horizontal, and we're going to start with Misty Moonlight, just a regular 5.5 by 8.5, scored at 4 1/4. And that's Misty Moonlight. That's not true. That's Night of Navy. I don't even know the difference anymore, apparently. All right, I have another piece here of the New Horizons paper. This one is 5.5 by 3. And I'm going to adhere that to a 5.5 by 3 1/4 inch piece of Soft Succulent. All right, now let's do some stamping again. We're going to use those same trees, and I'm going to use those in Night of Navy again, just like I did before. One on this side, just like we did before, one on each side. And then we're also, whoops, I'll keep out my Night of Navy because I have a couple more things I want to add with Night of Navy. So let's get the pretty grass. The grasses, we'll add that to the bottom as well. Doo-doo, love it. And then we'll add some over here. Just a hint on that side. And then this time, let's put another sentiment. This one looks so tranquil and peaceful. I thought maybe just thinking of you right on the paper. I love that. Then we're gonna finish this one up with a couple of die cuts. So I have a Night of Navy mountain range here. And then I just wanted a little bit lighter, so I got the Misty Moonlight, and this is just a little detailed overlay that you put on top of that background solid mountain. So let me get my liquid glue out, and there's just, it's very small, so you just need a couple of different dots here. Again, if you wanted to use a sponge with the adhesive, you could do that. I'm just putting a couple of dabs here and there. And then this is a little bit tricky to put on here, and this is the way that I've figured out to do it. Start with the largest end first. I do like the glue because then you can kind of manipulate it a little bit and then just lay it down as you go. Hold it in place. It takes, 15 seconds or so to really get a nice, good, secure gluing. And then we're going to add that over the top here. So You can add more glue. I'm just gonna add a little bit of seal because it's quick and easy. And then add that right there. So we have some mountains in the middle, trees on the side. And then that's ready to go onto our card base. Put that kind of at the bottom. Just a little bit of Night of Navy showing. And then I'm going to add some of that petal pink cotton ribbon from that combo pack. And we'll tie that again in a double knot. Okay, let me try this again. It's getting all kind of twisted, and I don't want that. And another double knot. And we'll trim that up. And we're going to add this, just kind of scooch this over to that side. And then we'll finish that with some rhinestones. Figure out where my champagne rhinestones went. So I have a couple here. Oh, let's see. Let's put one up here. And then another down here. So there is the next card. I love how that is. It's just so simple. It's a little bit different than we're used to doing. We get so busy with a lot of flowery things and whimsical things, but this is just kind of a nice, tranquil, you know, it'd be great for a sympathy type of a card, a masculine card. Really, really pretty scenery. All right, let's look at my Too Cool version. So this one is with the Misty Moonlight as the card base. I used another different paper from the New Horizons pack. This time I have Blackberry Bliss and Rich Razzleberry for the mountain, and I kept with the Night of Navy for the grass and the sentiment, added some birds in there as well, and then used the Misty Moonlight ribbon on this one, just for a little bit of a different look. So you'll get all the parts and pieces for this one in your kit. Okay, I have one more card to show you today, and I really love this one as well. I love all of these. They're just so different, just a little bit out of the ordinary. This one starts with gray granite. Same basic card with 5.5 by 8.5 scored at the 4 1/4 mark. And this one will be a horizontal as well. I have one little strip here of the New Horizons paper. This one is in kind of an old olive pattern. And what I did was, let me see if I can find this piece, because I actually cut it from the same, okay, I think it was this one. I cut it from the same thing, and you can do this on a lot of your pieces, where I just am using this part down here, and then the back I'm using as, I just took a strip off the top so that I can use the bottom layer, and I just cut it in half. This is the piece that I'm using. So this is just a 3 by 3.5 piece, and then all of this part up here, I can use at least 2 inches up here for 2 cards. So you can make 2 cards out of each piece. All right. So again, this is 3 by 3.5. I'm going to add that to a 3 1/8 by 3 5/8 piece of evergreen. I do have that strip here that I told you about. That's just a 1 by 5.5. And we're going to add that across the bottom here. And then that's going to go over the top. And I kind of made sure that the green here kind of matched my horizon line on this one to kind of, so it looks like it's kind of popping out from the card. So before we go any further, let's add a couple of stamped things to this one. Let's do, let me clean this up. Just to save blocks, I've showed you this before, but I have the one sentiment on one side and then I have the other one on the other side. It just makes it a lot easier to find them. You don't have as many blocks as you're trying to create things or stamp things and put them together. So for this one, I'm going to use Thanks for Everything. And I'm stamping it in Evening Evergreen. And you can use any of the sentiments. They all fit up there perfectly. Then I'm also going to do a little, I'm going to add a little cinnamon cider color. So let me wipe off my grass here, and we're going to add some of that. And again, see, I did it again. I keep putting the paper on there before I stamp because I'm not used to stamping so much on designer series paper, but it's just so perfect for this. So thankfully, you won't be able to see that very well on the Evening Evergreen, but let me just tell you, don't do that. Just stamp on the paper first and then put it on your layer. I'm so used to not, you know, we just don't do that very often, stamp directly on the paper. Okay, so that's a little bit of cinnamon cider on there. And then I think oh, let me put my ribbon on. I have my gray Granite Shimmer ribbon. This is staying in the new catalog, which I love because I love this ribbon. It's neutral and classy and just really dresses up a card. It makes a good faux bow with that double knot trick that I do. All right, so that's gonna go there, and then this is gonna go right here on the side. Let's just pop that up. I think we're ready to do that. Looks like it. And again, I'm just gonna flip that over so I don't put any dimensionals where that ribbon is so it doesn't get too bulky. And we'll add that to the card front. I just love how this one is turning out. And then I did die cut one of those fences. This is in Crumb Cake. And we'll get out our liquid glue again, just a little dab on each post. And we'll add that on this side. And then let's use those awesome pebble enamel shapes. I really love those so much. This is the whole reason that I used cinnamon cider and had a touch of that on our piece so that we could use these really pretty cinnamon cider little rocks. We'll put one of those over here and maybe one of these over here. And let's put another one of those gray ones. There's like 3 colors over here. I don't know if it says what colors are on here or not. Let's look in the, it says cinnamon cider, dark gray, and light gray. So anyway, I love that. Just a little rocks accented at the bottom. So, so pretty. So that's all we're doing for that. That's all you need, really. So that's so pretty. Thanks for everything. I did the original one I did the Wishing You So Much Happiness. So that was fun too. And then let me show you my Too Cool version. And this one is in Smoky Slate. And I used Misty Moonlight for the background. I used a different designer series paper pattern. I used both of the different fences here in basic gray. And then I used all basic gray, the dark and light versions of the pebble enamel shapes. For the background, I used that metallic mesh. That's also going to be in the upcoming catalog, so that's cool. I love that, just adds a little bit of extra texture and detail to the background. Okay, so those are those two cards, and you will have all your parts and pieces for this one in your class kit. All right, let's bring out all of the different class cards so you can see what you're going to get. And here they are. So we'll have all of these. Let's move them up a little bit, try to get everything in the screen here. So you have all the parts and pieces for all 5 of these cards. Remember, I will share, I'll have all the different die cuts available for you. It doesn't look like there's any die cuts where we stamp first and then die cut. So you'll have all the die cut pieces. Usually if it's something that's stamped and then die cut, I don't include the die cutting for that because it's just hard to stamp on a die cut. But this one, they have all separate die cuts, so all of those will be included. You'll have all the pieces of designer series paper. Everything will be, if it's embossed, it'll be pre-embossed, and you'll have all the embellishments, the ribbons and the gems. So you'll have everything you need. Just add the sentiments and everything that, you know, any background images or anything you want to add from the On the Horizon stamp set. And then, you know, of course, you're going to want that bundle so that you can get that, that die cut set to go with it as well. So you can really play around and use up the beautiful papers that you can get. Don't forget to order those. If you, you know, if you want to play around with this, you can make, just kind of mass produce really simple and pretty cards to use, you know, for all kinds of occasions. Really fun to make cards to just have on hand. And that New Horizons Designer Series paper is perfect for that. But get it now, because once they announce that it's gone for good, and they will be announcing that soon, then it's while supplies last. So that is part of the mini catalog. The mini catalog officially goes through the end of June. But I think by the end of this month, they're going to be saying that it's while supplies last. So get it while it's available so you can make a lot more cards on your own, because they're so simple to make. And enjoy making this this card kit. Now, to get the card kit, don't forget you'll just need a minimum $35 order at my store. You can get to that by going to toocoolstamping.com. Click on the Shop Now link, and that'll take you directly to my online store. Don't forget to use that host code. Super important that you put that in. Like, just for example, today I have the Artistically Inked class available with one host code, and also this one available with another. So I want to make sure that I'm giving you the kit that you are intending to earn for free. That will be found, there's a box, I believe, on the checkout page right at the top, right before you see the pricing. So hopefully if you have any questions, you can always message me. If you have any problems, just let me know and I can help you order. Okay, I think that's all there is to tell you about for this time. I hope you really have enjoyed this class, kind of a fun and different, unique class this time. And I sure had a lot of fun putting it together for you. And I look forward to stamping with you again next week with our next live class. Until then, this is Angie with toocoolstamping.com. Bye-bye.